In the garden, your objective is to get a horizontal or vertical line containing 4 of one species of plant before the weeds combine and occupy the same space. If the weeds combine, they will be too strong to overpower. In setup, shuffle the deck. Remove the top card from the deck. As long as it is not a weed, otherwise reshuffle and repeat. Set aside the next card on top of the deck as your hand, as long as it's not a weed. Arrange the rest of the cards left to right, top to bottom, in a 4x4 grid. On each turn, take a card that was set aside and place it on the grid. When taking a turn, each player will replace one card on the grid with the card in his hand. To replace a card on the grid with one in your hand, both cards must share either the same type of plant or the same numeric value represented by the die face on the card. Once this has occurred, it is time to move to the weeds. Move the weeds with the horizontal line so that it changes position with the card either to its left or to its right, depending on which is closer to the card you're replaced on the grid. If this weed is already in the same column as the chosen card, leave the weed alone. Then take the weed with the vertical line and have it change position with the card above or below it, depending on which is closer to the card you replaced in the grid. If the weed is already in the same row as the chosen card, leave the weed alone. The game is won when one plant species forms a continuous line of 4, either horizontally or vertically. The game is lost if any weed needs to trade positions with any other weed. The turn order: exchange hands with a card on the grid with the same value or plant. Move weeds in the direction of the card you moved on the grid based on the direction of the weed's arrows. This game has a 2-player variant. The objective in the 2-player variant is to create a horizontal or vertical line containing 4 of one species of plants before the weeds combine and occupy the same space. If the weeds combine, they will be too strong to overpower. Decide how many rounds you wish to play. Shuffle the deck. Have each player choose a species of flower, not a weed. Give each player a card from the top of the deck. Take the remaining cards and arrange them in a 4x4 grid from left to right, top to bottom. If a win combination is created with the starting setup, reshuffle the deck and redistribute the cards. No one will win that round. The first player is determined to be the player whose plant's species has the fewest number of orthogonal lines of 3 cards in a row. If both players have the same number, repeat with rows of 2. If they are still tied, choose at random. Each player, starting with the first player, will take turns replacing a card on the grid with the card in his hand. To replace a card on the grid with one in your hand, both cards must share either the same type of plant or the same numeric value represented by the die face on the card. Thank you for watching.